Good morning. I'm Dr. Cortez, and we're going to continue today the lesson from marketing research. So we started with this one last time on the introduction, the intro to market research, the basic definition, what are the areas of market research, the rationale, the objectives, why are we doing market research sa business. And just a review ng mga na-tackle natin last time for the benefit of those who are attending for the first time. Ito yung ating definition na nakaraan. You are just being familiarized with the different tools in conducting and interpreting market research like interview, survey questionnaire, focus group discussion, observation type of gathering data. Of course, part of your skills here is the inquiry, research, communication skills ng isang researcher and mapping the research process. Na you can use this. One rationale of market research, you're going to use this one in your future endeavors. Like, for example, you will be owning a business, so you can't avoid market research. So, research really is a way of life. Talagang gagawin mo to no? Not just the subject, but it should have a benefit para sa inyo. And we also did the objectives of market research. So, we enumerated last time itong apat na to. And we also already discussed the intro to market research and consumer behavior. What is marketing research and what is consumer behavior? So why is it that they are in tandem? Bakit magkasama ang consumer behavior and market research? Kasi basically, we are talking about the market, those buyers, potential prospective buyers ng products natin and client of our services. So ang research natin basically dito sa subject ng mga customers natin. So we should be knowing the customers, the consumers, the client, their behavior, so that we can pattern our products dun sa mga behavior nila. So that is the background. No? And we already talked about this one, the definition of a market research. And we presented last meeting some examples of marketing research that are important sa business na pwede nating gamitin sa business. For example, the first one, in the Philippines, social media capital of the world daw tayo. Why? Kasi with over 88.7 million social media users in 2020, that is last year, sobrang karami yung mga users daw ng social media. And according to the survey, so still Facebook remains the most popular platform, followed by YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And another sample of research, influencer marketing is highly effective daw in the Philippines, with brands increasingly collaborating with local influencers. So we don't always need celebrity to endorse products. Kasi sa Pilipinas, no, at least in the country, over 70% of Filipino consumers, they purchase product based on the recommendations of mga influencers, not celebrity. Example ng mga most popular influencer, yan. Kilala ko lang si Wamos. Okay. And another example of marketing research, in 2023 daw, 83% of Filipino consumers reported using mobile devices to search for products online before making purchase. So, siguro at this moment, 83% of Filipino are holding a cell phone. So it means 83% of them are using that cell phone or gadget or tablet in searching for products or services. Another example, e-commerce in the Philippines has been expanding with a market size of approximately 17 billion in 2020. So ganun kalaki yung transactions ng e-commerce in the country. That is in dollars, no? Expecting this to grow to 24 billion by 2025. So what does it mean? If you are selling, if you are a business, you can't survive without online presence or doing e-commerce. So pag wala ka niyan, so you're losing some fraction of these billions. No? Kasi kasama dito yung mga doing transactions online or doing e-commerce. So those are examples ng mga market research that were done and being used today. Okay, so more the definition of market research. This type of research are conducted in-house by the company itself. So pag nag-research tayo, example, you are siyempre sa school, no, sa ating, if you are just a student, you are the one who will be conducting the research and you are being trained so that later on you will be the one who will be conducting or sanay ka na, no? Kapag medyo malaki yung company, at least you have a knowledge in conducting research, but sometimes you can use third party to do the research for you. Kasi may mga companies na specializing in product testing, survey, focus group discussion, doing research and development for some companies. Ito yung mga trabaho nila eh. Example, the SWS survey, the Pulse Asia. Ito yung mga research companies that are doing market research for other companies. So this one is a type of business to business type of transactions. Wala kang time or you are not yet confident in doing research. So pwede mong magamit yung ibang mga market research firm, no, to do the survey for you. And ito, no, new study reveals, ito ay another example din ng research done by Daniela Forte. She's a content manager. Ang title ng kanyang research is, new study reveals brands are not meeting customer expectations. Ang kanyang data, 82% of respondents to this study said, that is 82 out of 100 ang nagsabi that they are disappointed or upset in their shopping experience because some brands are not meeting customer satisfaction daw. So they are upset and disappointed. And another result of her study, 78% said they had been dissatisfied with a customer service experience. So malaki ito ha. Sabihin, out of 100, 78 ang dissatisfied sa mga customer service experience. So itong data na to. And if you are the company that using this data, so malaking bagay sa ito in improving your customer service experience and shopping experience. Okay, so ang takeaways natin dito, by the way, no, sa ating lesson or strict lesson na to, companies use the market research to test the viability of a new product or service by communicating directly with a potential customer. So that is one benefit, no? Pag nag-survey tayo, what we see is what we get. Yung data talaga ay nanggaling sa mga prospective customers natin. Kasi ito ay is one example of primary data na nakikinuha natin sa market. Gagamitin natin. The second takeaway, with market research, companies can figure out your target market and get opinions, your behavior, feedback. And this one is real time. Pag nag-survey tayo ngayong araw na to, yung result niyan, that is valid within this day. Na? Kasi, primary data kasi to, sabihin, nanggaling talaga sa kanila. Hindi tutulad ng nagbasa ka ng libro or journal. Ang result niyan maybe from last year pa. Because journal, literature, and books are samples of secondary data. Number 3, this type of research can be conducted in-house. Ibig sabihin, your company can do the research. No? If you're confident, pag meron mga tao or you have kaya nga dito ay pag ikaw ay sanay na sa research, meron ka ng sariling company, so in-house na to, hindi ka na mag-commission mag-hire ng mga market researchers, ikaw mismo gagawa. or it can be done outside. It can be outsourced to research companies. No? Binanggit ko kanina. Asia, SWS, or small scale na mga research companies. And number 4, ang sample ng mga research like survey, product testing, and focus group discussion. So basically, we know what is survey. We will be floating questionnaires to the respondents and tally the answers of the respondents. Product testing being done sa mga market, sa mga malls, di ba? You will be testing your product physically and will be asking you what is your reaction or recommendation. While focus group discussion, example, you're going to gather like 6 persons in a round table discussion and you will discuss yung mga data. And the last takeaway from this lesson for week 1, market research is a combination of primary information. Ito yung nag-survey ka and you are the one who did the survey. That is primary data. While secondary information, you gather this from literature or from books or result of research of other person na ginamit mo. So mas real time, of course, yung primary research kasi ikaw mismo nag-gather ng data or nag-survey. So yun ang ating takeaway from last week. And we're going to continue for week number. So we only did a review ng ating lesson nakaraan, no? So we are just giving the benefit for those who were absent nung nakaraan. Okay. So ito naman yung ating continuation ng ating lesson for today. Yan, so hoping guys that this one is visible sa inyo, no? Okay, so let's continue with slide number 1. Okay, this is actually a lesson na sa week number 2 natin. For those who are not yet familiar with me. So for those who are not yet familiar with me, I'm Dr. Cortez, by the way. Sa ating lesson ngayon, ating continuation ng ating week 1. Parang karugtong lang to ng ating week 1. So, marketing research and market research innovations and the research user perspective. Okay, yan ang ating tackle. And by the way, ito yung ating outline sa ating lesson for this subject. So, week 1, we started with the definition. Okay, and the learning outcomes sa ating lesson ngayon. Ibig sabihin, after this lesson, these are the things that you are capable of doing. I mean, the students should be capable of doing this outcome. Define marketing research and consumer behavior, identify key terms, concept, and theories of consumer behavior. Evaluate the principal theories of consumer behavior. Explore, explain the world of marketing research fundamentals. Discuss and explain the importance of marketing research, steps and types of research. Okay, so himayin natin sila. Ito yung ating topic for this particular lesson. We only have a handful of topic. Sorry for that one. Intro. So still part of introduction and consumer behavior. More on definition. Kasi ba dito ay wala. Maybe last time. You're out last time. And also what is consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is important. What is the importance of consumer behaviors, marketing research framework, and component of marketing research fundamental. So background lang, no? So you treat this subject as not only subject, but you are being trained kasi as a business owner, CEO, employer, no? And later on, we can't rely on just the traditional. Dapat innovative tayo, no? Innovative in giving more product service. And we can do that by consulting the market. Kaya meron tayong market research. I mean, you can't avoid ang marketing sa isang negosyo. Kasi the behavior of the consumers are always changing at pag hindi natin alam yan. So we are not on the same page with the customers natin. Minsan, mas angat sila, no? Mababa ka. Minsan, sobra ka naman, sila naman yung bababa. So dapat you should be on the same level, the same page in doing business. And siyempre, the customers are the lifeblood of a business, no? So dapat ay inaalam natin yung kanilang mga needs, wants, kanilang mga behavior that are always changing. That is one rationale of having this subject, marketing research. Important ang consumer behavior sa research kasi sila yung bibili sa atin eh. So we should not be making products na gusto lang natin. That is not good. Dapat manggagaling palagi sa mga customers natin, consumers and client, yung ating may provide or ibibentang mga product. So example, this data, how millennials are shopping online. 2 in 3 millennials use mobile apps while shopping in store. Out of 3. Ibig sabihin, if you are traditional business at wala kang online presence, no? 2 sa 3, hindi ka makikita sa internet. 45% spend more than 1 hour per day shopping online. Parang at this moment, halos kalahati ng mga tao, ng mga prospective buyers are online isang oras on the average per day shopping online. So, parang sinasabi ng data na to. You should have a online presence. Kasi pag wala kang online presence, you are a dead business. Sabi ng data, 40% of men, 33% of women wish they could buy everything online. So, ganun kalakas ang e-commerce. Mas maraming kailangan ng lalaki, 40% na, compared sa 33%. They could buy everything online. Ibig sabihin, they prefer shopping online instead of going out. Kasi nga, di ba, tayo eh. Parang because of the pandemic, parang nasanay tayo na sa bahay lang. Kasi we discovered na pwede pa lang sa bahay siya, parang ba't ka palalabas? Okay, so gastos lang. Pag lumabas ka, mas maraming ka, magbibihis ka, pangmasahe, gas, gasoline. Nakayan ka sa mall. Mas pagdating sa bahay, you're now exhausted. So, pantalang pag online, anyway, the drawback of shopping online, you can scrutinize, you can't check yung mga products na binibili mo. But I have read one time, many years ago, sabi ng data, in 2017, yung shopping daw, they are developing an app or gadget or maybe device that pag nag-shopping ka raw, you can be able to smell, to touch yung texture, yung odor, yung fragrance ng binibili mo. And that was in 2017 daw mangyayari. But until now, hindi ko pa siya nakikita sa Hindi ko pa siya naranasan na pag nag-shopping ka and you want to buy burger online, pwede mo siyang amuyin because of date of a gadget. Equipment or apps wala pa nangyayari. So pag nangyayari siguro, yung ating problems in checking yung mga binibili natin, mababawasan siguro. But for the meantime, ano pa rin yan? Drawback pa rin yan. na hindi natin nag-check. What is consumer behavior? The study of consumers and the process they use to choose, use, consume, and dispose of products and services, including their emotion, mental, and behavioral response. So, ang consumer behavior, we check on their emotion kasi there are customers that are buying products because of their emotion. Dapat pag in love, di ba? Pag in love yung isang buyer, papambili siya ng roses or choco. Pag naman ay sobrang na-overcome siya ng kanyang anger, sobrang galit, ako bibili ng mga gadget yan na pang protekta sa sarili, no? Pang dominate ng mga kalaban niya. O pwede naman consumer behavior, it talks on the mental. Yung perception ba na baka mabubusan, so bibili ka agad ng marami, no? Or mental, ito yung dapat superior mental. So, pwede rin behavioral, no? Ating nasalubong ka product, so out of impulse, bibili ka ng product like ako, dirty ice cream, or yung kapitbahay mo kasi meron siyang ganung product, ikaw wala. So, bibili ka out of your behavior. Like, ikaw ay naiinggit. So, yung ating pinag-aralan sa ating mga consumer behavior na we should know how do they consume, use, or dispose ng mga products na yan. Kailan siya bibili, anong season, ilang piraso, in bulk ba yan, or retail, or weekly, quarterly ba sa bumili. Yung mga tinitingnan natin. Okay, so why is it that consumer behavior is important at dapat nating malaman? The reasons. Studying behavior is important because it helps marketers understand what influences consumers' buying decisions. Isang psychological reason to be superior, or emotion, reason, or mental, or yung feelings nila, in love ka, or you feel insecure, you feel that you are not safe. Bibili ka ng you will buy funeral insurance plan as a form of security. Kasi dati, I don't believe in insurance plan, no? But later on, somebody encouraged me to buy insurance plan. I will mention the brand, St. Peter. No? Dati ayaw natin yan, but because of psychological na we're going to buy, para meron tayong we have this saying, you're going to cross the bridge when you get there. Saka tatawid sa tulay pag nandun ka na. Hindi mo sa inunahan, no? Yung iba kasi, bibilang ng insurance plan pag kailangan na. Pero di mga taong ibang mentality, they are preparing for something na pag may nangyari nga talagang hindi maganda, so mahirapan naman yung maiwanan. So yung iba, parang hindi mahirap maiwanan na loved one, so binibili na sila insurance ng funeral plan. By understanding how consumers decide on a product, they can fill the gap in the market and identify the products that are needed and the products that are obsolete. How decide? May products na it is the consumer who is deciding. Meron namang somebody deciding for a consumer. Pag mga bata kasi siyempre, di ba? Ang nagde-decide yung mga parents. So, sinong target mo dito? Yung parents. Example, toys, parents magde-decide na, no? Pero pag mga products na yung mga luxurious products, example, bahay, sasakyan, minsan hindi na lang yung parent ang nagde-decide, no? Parang family decision in deciding what type of car, family car ba yan, anong kulay, sedan ba yan, or van, ayan, anong branding. So, pag ganung products, it is now consensus ng mga members of the family. Meron namang mag-asawa nagdi-design, meron ding husband ka, meron ding wife ka. Important daw ang consumer behavior. Studying behaviors also helps marketers decide how to present their products in a way that generates a maximum impact on consumers. And understanding consumer buying behavior is the key secret to reaching and engaging your clients and converting them into purchase from you. Important ang research. Kasi example, the packaging. Anong klaseng packaging yung preferred ng mga buyers natin? Example, pag nagsishopping ka, alin ang mas preferred mo? The arrangement ng product sa loob ng isang grocery store. Sabi ng survey, mas preferred nila mag-shopping yung horizontal, yung nakalihera ang product instead na vertical. Pag patayo, hindi nila preferred yon. Okay? So para sa kanila, okay lang na maglakad ng napakahaba kaysa tumingala. No? Kaya nga, horizontal ang preferred ng mga kuwan eh. Ang preferred nila ng mga arrangement. At syempre, if they are shopping, high level yung kanilang ginagamit. Sabihin, shoppers, they don't have the tendency to stoop down to look at the bottom part of the shelves ng mga grocery store. Hindi na masyadong ginagawa kasi they are, example, they are in hurry. Kasi dire-diretso yung kanilang pag-push ng cart. So madaanan lang madaanan ka ng eye level, yun lang kanilang bibilhin. Okay? So that is how you should present your product. And sabi ko natin last time, yung colors then in presenting yung products also have a say on the product's marketability. I mean, yung kulay, di ba? Sabi natin, the yellow and the red are dominant colors when it comes to food, fast food. Pag products mo naman ay yung parang siya, complicated, delicate products. Yung nga pang saucy, mga kulay, kulay like jewelry. Is it presenting jewelry in black or dark blue? If you want to show natural, your product is natural, so green. Okay? And also yung packaging. So, some marketers are investing on packaging. Good packaging example are selling juice. Yung kanilang bote talagang hindi lang basta-basta bote, no? Talagang they are presenting a good packaging, yung may hawakan. Kasi nga, some customers are buying products, beverages. Kung magagamit nila yung lalagyan, later on without disposing yung product na yan. So, kaya nga, you're investing on good packaging eh. Okay, so what are the factors that influence consumers to say yes? The 3 factors. Personal. Ito yung factors that can affect the behavior of the consumers. First factors, an individual's interests and opinions can be influenced by demographics. Examples of demographics are age, gender, culture, etc. This one is happening, no? Depende sa edad mo eh. Tingnan mo ngayon, hindi na kayo teenagers, no? Pero pag tinignan mo yung picture mo na ikaw elementary or high school, pag tinignan mo yung old pictures mo, nakita mo yung suot-suot mong damit, minsan matatawa kayo kasi baduy pala ako nung panahon na yun. Pero during that time, hindi balitin mo sa sarili mo kasi it depends on age level. Pinabagay mo lang. Balik na rin natin. Ngayon, tingnan mo pag tinignan mo picture ng mga parents, mga adults, sabi ko, ba't ganun mga damit ng mga matatanda, mga adults, parang baduy? Diba? You can say that kasi pag naging adults ka na rin, magsusot ka rin ng ganun eh. So, depende sa age, no? Yung binibili mo. May teenager ka, example ako, no? Teenager ako eh, mga damit ko, mga t-shirt, mga rockista, no? Ngayon, parang ayoko na magsuot, mga ganun. Eh, example, sa music. Nung teenager ka, mga music pinapakinggan mo, example, rock or yung loud or mga fast music. Pero pag adult ka na, pag inisip mo parang, ba't gusto ko dati yung teenager ako? Eh, ang gugulo naman ng mga music dati, no? So, nagbabago na. Pag video okay nga pagkantahan, di ba? Kitang-kita mo yung music. Depende sa edad yung kinakanta. O depende rin sa gender. May pag lalaki daw yung binebentahan mo, yung color ng predominant sa mga lalaki, kulay brown. Pero pag babae naman daw, siyempre pink or white. Although may mga gumagamit na ng mga pink na colors sa mga gamit nila, like polo shirts, o kanina naka-pink So meron mga binibili. Example, pag ikaw ay yung tatay at nanay, magkaiba yung kanilang binibili. Kapag ikaw ay nag-market ng products na pang tatay, example, carpentry tools, magamit sa bahay, mga tools sa bahay. I-market mo yan tuwing linggo. Kasi mga tatay daw ay may time manood or magbasa ng mga advertisement tuwing linggo kasi ang weekdays sa trabaho sila, di ba? So depende. So dapat alam natin, no? Pag mga nanay naman, di ba? Pwede ka mga nanay nanonood ng TV at mga bandang hapon, di ba? Or bandang gabi. Mga tatay din, bandang gabi nanonood yan pag may balita. So doon may papasok yung mga commercials ng mga products na para sa kanila. Right? Or the same thing in advertising. Pag target mo yung mga tatay, pwede sa dyaryo. Kasi more often than that, mas mahilig magbasa ng dyaryo yung mga tatay. So doon mag-advertise. Mga nanay mga magazine sa mga nanay, no? So doon mag-advertise. Or depende rin sa culture. May mga culture or country na iba yung dating, no? Customs and traditions. Depende yan Dapat pag nag-market ang product sa India na may meat na beef or baka, hindi mabibili yan kasi sacred sa India yung beef. So ibang meat na lang ibenta mo sa kanila like yung chicken. O then mo sa Muslim country, siyempre bawal naman yung pork and beans. Kasi may pork, bawal ang pork, di ba? Sa mga Muslim countries. Kaya nga yung McDo, when it established its branch in Saudi Arabia, yung kanilang ingredients pinalitan ng vegetables. Example, yung kanilang meat. Instead of meat, they invented an alternative na hindi siya patty but made out of like vegetables. So binabagay mo dun sa community na pinapasukan mo. Nagigibagay ka dun. Ito yung psychological factors can affect the buying habit ng mga customers natin. An individual's response to a marketing message will depend on their perceptions and attitudes. Perception, if you're happy. Pakiramdam ko, happy ako ngayon So, bibili ka ng mga products na magpapasaya sa'yo. Or pag malungkot ka, hindi ka para sa magpapasaya sa'yo. Or pag you feel insecure, bibili ka ng products na it will make you safe like pepper spray. Example yun. It is now dangerous to walk on the street. Example sa Metro Manila. So pag babae ka, to prevent or to suppress crime, bibili ka ng products na you can use during times of emergencies like pepper spray or electric shock gadget. Or kaya yung ball pen na pwede mong gamitin sa mga emergency. Kapag summertime, di ba? If you feel that during summertime, it is dangerous during summer sa mga sunog. So, bibili kang products like fire extinguisher, smoke detector na pwede mong gamitin. If you feel naman na rampant naman yung sakit, virus, so anong bibili mo? Mga vitamins ang kontra sa mga sakit. Or pwede rin social factor ang reason. Your family can influence yung mga binibili mo. Example, yung ate mo, ate ka may kuya ka, sometimes they can influence your behavior. Pagbili ng damit, si kuya may ganito, bili rin kaya ako ng ganito. parang ginagaya mo yung ano, kuya o yung tatay mo kasi nag-aral sa ganito. So doon na rin ako pupunta. O yung parents o yung mom mo, meron siyang ganitong gamit, so bibili rin. No? So pwede ng kaibigan, of course, your classmates can influence you. Pagbili, yung classmate mo, magkakabarkada kayo, di ba? Yung isa, ito nangyari sa amin nung high school kami. 10 kami magkakabarkada. Yung isang barkada namin bumili ng, uso kasi dati yung 3/4 na yung 3/4 na t-shirt. So bumili kami lahat. Yung damit namin pare-pareho kasi gusto namin yung 3/4. Nagkaiba nga lang sa logo ng kulay. Pero pare-pareho kami. Na-influence kasi pag wala kang 3/4, parang outcast ka during that time. Pag hindi ka naka 3/4, parang nawawa ka, sila naka 3/4, ikaw naka t-shirts lang. So yung mga sample. Your educational level can also affect your buying behavior. Nung elementary ka, madi ka na pag tinitingnan mo ngayon. Habang nag-high school ka, nag-college ka, natututo ka eh. And of course, social media, ayan, ma-attend rin to. Mga social media influencers are, and 70, diba sabi natin kanina, 70% ng mga tao believe in social media influencers. Ito ay mga factors that can affect yung buying behavior ng isang tao, ng isang prospective customers. Patuloy natin. More importance pa rin to. Successfully running your business depends on the understanding your target customers. Dito rin guys, important din dito sa market research. Inaalam mo yung segment, yung proper segmentation ng mga customers mo. Kasi pag hindi mo to ginawa, kung paano nakahati ang market, ang tendency niyan, lahat ng product mo ay para sa lahat. Tapos damit ang binibenta mo, tapos nagtataka ka bakit hindi nabibili. Kasi ang target mo lahat. So dapat sinisegment mo. Paano kumain ka ng pizza, una mong ginagawa, hinahati mo muna, di ba? Yung pizza, para pipili ka ng isa lang. Otherwise, lahat yan ay bebenta. So, ginagawa ng mga ibang consumers, sellers before positioning their products. Ang unang ginagawa, segmenting. Kaya yung STP, na actual name, S is segmenting. Letter T is targeting. Letter P is positioning. Ibig sabihin yan, pag mag-position, pumili ka muna. Pero bago ka pumili, dapat hatiin muna para meron kang pagpipilian. That is STP. Market research is one of the best tools you have for understanding your customers. It gives you hard data or data na real-time mo siyang kinuha na pwede mo siyang gamit in doing marketing strategy. Para mas madali magbenta. Kasi pag wala kang targeting, example, ang ginawa ng mga companies na sa clothing. Have you noticed? You will notice that there are clothing companies that are targeting a specific segment of the market. So, a good example is yung Ben's Her. Ben's Her, napaka-define yung kanilang target market. Mga teenagers na babae. Kasi pangalan pa lang Ben's Her. Kaya nga dati may Ben's lang na generic. But through market research, they discovered na meron talagang market na hiwalay para sa mga babae. Especially mga female teenagers. That's why they created the Ben's Her. That types of product. An example, yung Tandig Apple, di ba? Dati ang beer para sa lahat. Then, from market research, they discovered na merong market talaga ng mga babae talaga gustong uminom ng beer. Kaya they created yung pambabaeng beer. That is the Tandig Apple, Tandig Lights. So, natin ang market ng beer. Because of market research, they were able to segment yung mga market nila so that they can make the proper marketing strategy para sa specific market na yan. So, mas madali kasing gumawa ng strategy pag naka-focus ka sa isang market. Yung sabi ni Michael Porter, pag ikaw magne-negosyo, meron kang tatlong klase ng strategy na pwede mong gamitin. Yung una, yung cost strategy. Ibig sabihin, product mo ay mura. Pwede ring study and differentiation, yung product mo ay kakaiba. At yung last is the focus strategy. Mag-focus ka isang target market. Kaya lang, you can't focus pag hindi mo alam pagkakahati. Diba? So, parang hindi ka pwedeng kumuha ng isang slice ng pizza pag hindi mo sa hinati. So, hatiin mo muna, di ba, yung pizza? Okay, so moving on. Market research helps us. It will help you, number one, improving communication. But we will be allowed to read this one. It drives your communication not only with your current customer but with target prospects as well. Market research shows where your customers can be reached, saan sila magkikita, as well as what language will be most effective in attracting their attention and resonating with them on an emotional level. So, this is one effect of market research. Paano yung communicating sa kanila? Yung branding mo. Branding is a form of communication. Kasi even without talking to them, by just presenting your brand, alam na ng customers kung magandang brand or hindi. Yung branding natin, the brand name, the business name, you're communicating with them. Yung pangalan ng yung company, the brand in your company should be targeting them. Kaya para pag hindi ka nakipag-uusap sa kanila, the brand and the name will be communicating with them. Example, sabi ng result, I did a research in 2017. This was my research for my doctoral in 2017. Sabi nung result ng aking research in 2017. Effective communication ng pangalan ng company if the name of the company is unique, funny, witty, at merong Tagalog or English na pwedeng paggamitan, ang pangalan. At sabi ng aking research, yung brand name mo dapat nakipag-usap. Sabihin, the brand pa lang ng iyong business, the customers or the clients should already know what's being sold sa kanila. Example, pag yung brand name mo ay fish is the fish be with you. Yung pangalan ng brand name or pangalan ng iyong company. Now, alam mo ba ang binibenta nila? Yes, fish, seafoods binibenta. Sa brand name mo, dapat merong mga icon or picture na nagpapakilala kung anong product or service ang inyong binibenta. Okay? And one result of the survey is it is better if your company has a tagline or slogan as part of communication. Totoo yan, no? Sabi ng research ko, mas marketable ang isang company na meron siyang slogan. Kasi wala. Kasi pag may slogan daw, you are talking to the customers in more personal, emotional level. Kaya sa pangalan lang. So, next time, pag nagtayo ka ng business, tama ng slogan. Kaya lang, yung slogan mo, masyadong mahaba. Kasi hindi yan matatandaan ng mga customers niya. So, the slogan as part of communication, that should be short para may retention dun sa mind ng mga customers niyo. Masyadong mahaba, no? Pag mga 2 sentences, wag masyadong ganun, no? Para may retention. Short lang. Example, ano yung slogan ng Mercury Drug? Na kasi siguro lahat laging bago. Slogan ng Jollibee, Bidang Saya. Slogan ng KFC, Finger Lickin' Good. Yan mga short, but they are communicating with the customers, no? In emotional level. Number 2, Through market research, we can identify the opportunity. Market research helps the seller or the marketer identify more accessible opportunities for reaching and converting new customers. Kasi pag nag-research tayo, inaalam natin anong gusto ng mga customers natin. Example, alam gulay, tulad ng nangyari sa Japan, yung Pepsi. I forgot kung it was Pepsi or Coke. One time, nagtataka yung Pepsi or that soft drinks company in Japan. Bakit walang masyadong bumibili ng kanilang products? Yung kanilang family size na products. Yung pala, they forgot to make a research. They forgot to consider na ang mga Japanese are small family. Ang anak, dalawa lang. Ang anak, isa lang. So, binenta mo sila ng isang soft drinks na family size na malaki. Sobra sa kanila yun. Hindi na masyadong malaki. Di ba sa Pilipinas, no? Pag sinabing family size na soft drinks, kasi sa atin yan. Kasi ang family, typical Filipino families are composed of 3 anak, 4 na anak. Ang family size sa atin, sakto lang. Sa Japan, ang anak na 2, isa lang. So, ang family size ng isang soft drink dapat bawasan. Okay? Kasi ang ref nila doon ay maliit. Kasi lang sa mga pang small family. So, that is one sample na they forgot to consider. Yung mga factors like community, culture ng isang lugar. Dapat pag bago kasi isang company, dapat parang ginagawa rin community immersion as part of marketing research. It can be the best way to discover new platforms for advertising, consumer concerns you were unaware of, and gaps within your market that you can fill. May pinapanood akong channel. No? Ang title ng channel na to is Undercover Boss. Mga boss kasi gusto nilang malaman ang reason bakit yung kanilang sales ng kanilang company ay bumababa. Yung channel, no? yung pinaka-CEO ng company, nagdi-disguise siya. At siya ay, kunwari, ay worker din sa kanyang sariling company. Ang purpose, para malaman niya first hand ano ang mga reason ng pagbaba ng benta ng kanyang company. So that is an example of observation type of research. Matagal siyang gawin, pero mas effective yung result kasi ikaw mismo yung karanas. Na example, gaps sa yung sariling company. And the third result or benefit ng market research, ayan. So, through market research, it can lower the risk. Pag sinabi natin risk ng company natin, net loss, financial risk, human resources risk, marketing risk, or worst, bankruptcy o close down ng iyong sariling company. So why? So concrete data keeps you focused on the real opportunities and helps you avoid unproductive effort. Baka meron kang ginagawang effort na hindi sa masyadong streamline na sayang. No? Sayang pala yung ginagawang, hindi pala masyadong kailangan. Based on the survey, example, di ba pag nagpaano kasi isang service company, meron kang I call this one, the suggestion box. Naglalagay sila doon ng mga comments nila, and based on that suggestions box, dapat binabasa mo yun, no? Kasi you will learn from the most from the most dissatisfied customers. Ibig sabihin, yung mga customers na galit sa'yo or not satisfied, sometimes kung talagang lahat nakita nilang pangit sa company mo, i-drop nila sa suggestions boxes. Pag mayroong 10 pangit doon, 10 beses ka rin matututo. That is important. Example, isang resto, how are we going to improve? Ano ba mga unethical practices ng aming mga crew? Pinasa mo sa suggestions boxes mo, no? Tapos ang dami naglalabas ang result. Example doon, some crew, they don't know well about the product. Ano pa nang isa eh, the toilet is not properly maintained, walang parking. Okay? Mga upuan, di masyadong comfortable. Diba? So we learn from those or masyadong mabagal. Paano may improve yung operation? Example, sa isang counter, no? sa counter ng isang fast food, paano papabilis yung pag-serve. Kaya nga, yung sa, I don't know if some fast food are doing this one. Diba dati yung Chowking counter din? What have you noticed pag pumunta ka ng Chowking? Dati kasi pag order ka, yung mga food nandun na eh. Pero ngayon, iba yung ordering counter doon sa mag-prepare ng food mo. Dati magkasama yun eh, no? Pag umorder ka dati, din counter tapos mga food dyan din prepare. Ngayon iba, di ba? Yung counter ng mga ordering counter, talagang stand alone siya, nakaiwalay siya. I don't know the reason. Maybe, of course, they have the reason to streamline. Siguro mas, of course, para maging mas productive yung flow ng kanilang transaction. Maybe, of course, ganun siguro yun. Without wasting time, space, tapos effort ng mga group, papabilis. Okay. Now, how to conduct research for your business? So, maraming reasons. Sabi natin last time, you can do survey questionnaire, you can do interview, you can do observation, you can do focus group discussion. Pero may kanya-kanyang gamit yung mga yan. Of course, you can't always do one type. Isang situation. Example, may mga time na gagamitin mo lang yung focus group discussion eh. May kanya-kanyang advantage and disadvantages sa yung mga types na yan. Important, pag nag-survey ka naman eh, siyempre meron ka ng mga consultant kung anong pwedeng gamitin for you to know the advantages and disadvantages. No? Example, pag yung product ay you want to know from the expert talaga, not from ordinary respondents. Gagamitin mo dyan na focus group discussion. Kasi ang focus group discussion, mga 6 to 7 persons lang tinatanong mo dyan. Hindi ka nag-interview, hindi ka nag-upload ng questionnaire sa kanila. 6 lang or 7 ang kausap mo. And you gather data from them. Example, yung mga brand managers, marketing managers ng mga different companies, ipunin mo sila in one round table discussion. Yung mga data makukuha doon, yun ang pwede mong gamitin. And siyempre, iba rin gamit ng interview. Ang interview kasi, medyo konti lang ang makukuha mong data dyan kasi konti lang mga respondents. No? Samantalang ang survey, isang bigay ng mga questionnaires mo, maraming sasagot. Pero siyempre, may disadvantage din ang questionnaire. Mabilis, pero may disadvantage din. Steps in marketing research. So before I continue guys, pwede ba? Pa-request naman, pa-subscribe naman sa aking munting channel. Ayan. Maraming salamat po in advance. Steps in marketing. Pag nagsulat ka ng research, nasa example, pag kayo mo nasa higher year level na sa inyong education, pag-research na kayo, ang chapter 1 madalas ng yung research ay yung problem. So, dapat meron daw na problem na gusto mong ma-solve. So, ang first step natin for us guys, to define the problem. Start by identifying the focus of your research. Knowing what question you are trying to answer will help you structure your research effectively. Example, meron ka isang problem na 5 questions ang pwedeng i-generate problem na yan. Tapos yung malaman, ano ba yung what is the most effective visual attributes na pwedeng gamitin sa mga companies. So may mga tanong ka dyan eh. Yung impact ng visual attributes, ano na yung mga visual attributes na pwedeng gamitin sa company, ano ba yung similarity, ano bang challenges ng bawat visual attributes na pwedeng gamitin, benefits. So maraming question eh. No? Ang question naman, pag nag-research ka, hindi mas palaging tanong eh. Ang problem, no, pag ikaw ay nag-research, hindi naman sa palaging tanong eh. Para lang siyang title, example, the role of visual attributes in marketability of fast food. That is an example of problem. Another problem, the benefits and practices in social media used by small, medium enterprises in Metro Manila. Another problem, fast food versus fine dining. Ayan, challenges and opportunities. May mga problema. Ang problem, may nakikita ka mga problem at the back of your mind. Diba sabi natin last meeting, kaya pinagawa ko yun ng ating activity nakaraan, meron bang problem or question at the back of your mind that you want to answer at the longest time, na meron kang you want to find answers para sa mga yan. Whether you are a student, you are a pedestrian, you are an employee, may mga tanong ka no? Kahit naglalakad ka lang, nakita ka. Paano kaya kung ganito? Yan. So you have problems. Ang problems naman, even if hindi sa masyadong bongga, basta it can contribute to body of knowledge at meron kang ginawang research para dyan, okay na yun. Basta meron kang contribution. Number 2, determine your budget and time frame. Siyempre, especially ang survey questionnaire. Magpiprint ka ng questionnaire. Pupunta ka dun sa mga respondents. For example, 100 ng respondents mo. Magdadala ka ng token para sa kanila. Meron siyang gastos. Pag-interview naman, kunti lang sila. Pero siyempre, minsan meron ka ring cash para sa interview. Pag focus group discussion naman, mag-aayos din kasi papakainin mo yung mga yan. Hindi pwede mga burger lang yan, di ba? Dapat meron rin budget for lunch or for dinner ng mga respondents mo sa focus group discussion. At ang research, meron siyang scope. Kasi ang research, guys, in 2 years time, pwedeng magbago yung kanyang result So dapat ang research mo, meron siyang dito lang siya relevant o dito lang siya valid. For example, valid lang itong research na to from January 2024 hanggang December 2025. Pero pag may nakapagbasa ng result ng iyong study, applicable lang yan sa loob ng 2 taon. Pwede sa magbago in the future. No? So mayroon siyang time frame. Number 3, design your methods and needs. Identify what data needs to be collected and how you will gather this data. Yan nga, interview ba? Pag maraming result, example, you need 1,000 result. So, survey gamitin mo. Pag gusto mong mga expert opinions ang hinahanap mo, so you use the focus group discussion. Pag gusto mong konti lang, mga 20 lang, so you can do the interview type of research. So, pwede siyang qualitative. Pag qualitative, yes or no, mag-check lang sila pag qualitative no? I-check lang sila kung madali siyang itali. Example, yes or no. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. Kung mamili ka dito, mamili ka ng 3, so check. That is qualitative. Ang quantitative, ang sagot dyan, pwedeng sentence. Hindi lang check. Example, what do you think? O, isasagot ang respondents. Susulat nila. Wala silang checkan na. That is qualitative. Quality. Madaling tandaan. Pag quantity, so amount by amount. No? Check. Pag quality, sila magsusulat ng mga result, ang mga sagot. Then number 4, choose sampling method. So, hindi naman lahat ng tao ay tatanungin mo. Example, gusto mag-survey sa sa Quezon City o gusto mo mag-survey sa Project 8 Quezon City about fast food. So, lahat ba ng tao sa Quezon City, sa Project 8 Quezon City tatanungin mo? Hindi. May kinukuha lang tayong sampling or sample. Kung ilan lang. So, meron tayong ginagamit na formula to get the sample. Sa internet, merong sa internet, no? May calculator lang ginagamit doon. Ipasok mo lang ilang population ng isang lugar. Example, population Project 8, 10,000. Type mo yung 10,000. Automatic, mag-generate siya kung ilang sample. Lalabas ng example. 10,000 population, ang sample, 350. Ibig sabihin, 350 lang tatanungin mo. Okay? Now, yung 350, paano mo sila bibigyan? Pag nakita bang 350 sa isang simbahan, bibigyan? O, pwedeng gano'n, no? Ang tawag natin dyan, non-random. Or purposive sampling. Ang random sampling, iba. Yung 350, ikakalat mo yan sa buong Project 8. So, which one gamitin mo, no? Now, for convenience, ang ginagamit ng iba ay purposive sampling. Sabihin, yung 350, pag nakita kang 350 sa isang lugar, bigyan mo sila. That is non-random sampling. Okay, so steps in marketing research. Sources naman ng problems. Ayan. Yung icon ko dito, problemado talaga. Palakad-lakad siya. Saan manggagaling? Saan pwedeng makita ang problems na pwedeng sagutin sa isang research? Pag meron na kayong research subject later on, ang pinapagawa ko sa mga estudyante, magbasa ng magbasa, read, and read. Sa kakabasa mo, meron ka makikitang problems. Yan yung relevant literature na tinatawag natin. Pag wala kang problem na isip, magbasa ka. Kakabasa mo, may lalabas ng problema eh. So read, and read. Now, problems, pwede na manggaling by interviewing practitioner or people. Example, you want to know what is lacking or kulang sa mga gadget. O interviewin mo yung mga practitioner like yung brand manager, no, ng isang company. Meron silang alam dyan eh. Or you can interview people. Ano bang kulang sa ano? Ano bang kulang sa product namin? Or how are we going to improve our operation or customer management? Okay? Parang problem, pwede manggaling sa'yo. Personal experience, sabi ko kanina, you can see problems by just walking as a pedestrian. By just looking around, no? Paggamit ng mga products, pag-avail ng mga services, meron kang makikita ng problems eh. Personal. Okay? Pag tinatamad ka, wala kang makita, di magbasa ka, that is relevant literature. So in short, no, ang problem, hindi ka mawawala ng problema habang nandito ka eh. Habang gumagamit ka ng mga products and services ng mga tao, ng mga companies, merong problem because change is constant. Palaging may changes eh. Na pwede kang makita or people are hungry. Palagi siyang may hinahanap na bago. Kaya ikaw naman as marketer, you should be on the same level. Kung gutom sila, o sagutin mo yung gutom nila, gawa ka ng paraan para masagot or ma-fill in yung kanilang hunger. Sample research problems daw. So, nasa kasi tayo, no? Nasa steps tayo na we are looking for problems, defining the problems. Kaya we talk about source of marketing problems at samples ng mga marketing problems. Sample. A fast food chain, researchers need to determine if there is a need for a new location o beach store. So, problem, lilipat ba? Magbabago ba ng location? O hindi? So, they're going to survey people going through the drive-thru line. That is research, no? Conducting interview. The second sample, what motivates these people to choose you? Your business should understand how and why you're beating the competition when it comes to choosing a vendor. So, ano rin to, no? Problems din. Bakit ikaw ang pinipili nila? Bakit ikaw ang pinipili ng mga customers mo? Problem number 3, what would the sale impact be by raising the price? By ensuring that your pricing is optimized with market research, you can find the right price point to maximize sales and maximize profit. So, ibig sabihin, huwag kang mag-charge ng masyadong mataas at masyadong mababa presyo. Pag masyado kasing mataas, merong profit pero you're losing customers. Pag masyado mababa naman, baka wala kang profit. Baka pwede palang 10 pesos eh. Bakit 6 ang binayang benta natin? So, pag kayo guys ay nag-set ng price, of course, the price comes from the cost. That is cost-based pricing. But sometimes, the pricing can also be market-based. Ano ang tamang presyo that are perceived by the customers na tama lang para sa product na bibenta mo. Yung parang perception. Magkano yung value ng product palagay na. So, sa feasibility study, before you set the price, nagsisurvey sila eh. Example, how much is the price that you are willing to pay sa product na to pag ito yung binenta namin ngayon? So, kailan magtataas, kailan bababa. What new offerings could we introduce to our existing customers? You can utilize market research to determine which offerings your current customers are looking for and how to upsell them. So ito yung bagong feature ng products, anong kulang sa product. Okay? Example, pwede rin sa service, no? Anong course ang pwedeng introduce natin, 'di ba? Sa atin, 'di ba? Pag mag-offer yung school ng modality, tinatanong muna kayo kung anong mode of offering ng class ang gusto niyo. Is it full face, full face-to-face, hybrid? Gusto mo full online? Before the offer. So at least you are consulted. Ganun din sa mga products, anong feature ang pwede naming ibigay? Kasi siyempre, pag sinabing market means the people. So, the new feature should come from the people. Ano bang gusto nila? Additional na pwedeng idagdag. Service naman, ano bang gusto niya sa resto namin? So, may playpen. Gusto niyong robots ang nagsiserve. Gusto niyo anong klaseng upuan? Gusto niyo may division para mayroong privacy. Patuloy natin yung steps in marketing research. And the fifth one, plan for data analysis. Decide how will you analyze your data. Will you need quantitative data? May dalawang klase ng data. Pag sinabing quantitative, ito yung nag-check. Ilan ang nag-check? Ilangin mo lang yung check. Ilan nag-check ng 5? Example, isang fast food. Maglatag ka ng different features ng fast food mo. Example, good ambience, parking, tapos pa-checkan mo sa customers mo. Checkan nyo dyan yung gusto nyong feature. So pag those are quantitative data, kasi pwede mong bilangin eh. Kung ilan nag-check na. Ang qualitative data kasi iba. Ang qualitative data, medyo mahirap siyang i-tally kasi nga, bawat customers, iba ang sagot. Kasi qualitative data, silang nagsusulat eh. Example, ang gusto nyong idagdag sa aming store ambience. O magsusulat sila. Pag meron kang 100 na respondent, meron ka ring 100 na sagot. Mahirap siyang i-tally. Samantalang pag quantitative, bilangin mo lang. Anyway, mas exact kasi pag qualitative data, exacto yung sagot eh. Talagang yung detail ng sagot talagang nandoon. Kasi pag quantitative data, check lang ng check eh. Minsan meron kang gusto na wala sa choices, pero you have to check. Kaya mas relevant ang quantitative. Mahirap nga lang i-tally. Number 6, data collection. Once you know what questions you want to answer and have designed a research method to answer it within the constraints of your availability time, it's time to collect the data. Yan. Pag yun ay survey, so pag nag-distribute ka ng mga questionnaire, so i-retrieve mo lang yan, mga bond paper, di ba? Tapos i-tally mo. Pag link naman pag Google Form man ang binigay mo sa kanila, so automatic, nakatali na siya, di ba? Pag Google Form or MS Form. Pag mano-mano kasi, magtatali ka pa. Pwedeng manual, pwedeng online. Ngayon, sa mga research now, since wala ng pandemic, face-to-face na pag-float ng questionnaire. Para mas mas relevant at talagang you will be assured na talagang nag-survey yung mga tao, hindi lang gawa-gawa yung result. Alright, and then number 7, you're going now to analyze yung data. Example, yung sa quantitative data example, may choice na siyang rank number 1, may choice na rank number 2. So you will discuss ano bang ibig sabihin, bakit number 1, bakit rank 1, yung choice number 5. and you will discuss, you will explain. Right? At ang result minsan, you can interview yung mga respondents. So, bakit po number 1 ang inyong napili? Bakit po karamihan sa inyo ay number 5 ang chinikan? Ano bang reason? Then you will interview them. In the result of the interview, maybe it can be part of your analysis of the data. Lastly, of course, ang market research, our goal here is to be used for your company and to contribute to the general body of knowledge. So, important kahit yung research mo ay hindi masyadong grandeur, as long as it can contribute to the general body of knowledge, that is good for the company. So, paano mo send the report? Of course, ang report should be collated, should be filed, binubookbind natin yan. Bigyan natin ng copy yung mga respondent. Kaya pag ikaw ay sa school, pag ikaw ay nag-research, dapat may copy yung National Library. Dapat may copy yung school. Dapat may copy ka. At yung mga respondents mo, bigyan mo rin ng copy ng result ng iyong study. And that should be published. Ang research should be published. Para makita ng lahat. So those are the 8 steps in marketing research. We're going to... okay. So that is the last slide pala ng ating lesson about market research, and these are my references. And once again, thank you for listening sa ating market research topic now. Hoping that you learned guys sa ating lesson, and sana you will listen more sa aking mga next video recording. And for the meantime, salamat in advance again sa mga magsasubscribe, and for the meantime, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off, at maraming salamat.
Thank you for watching.